Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Folked. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Folked, a casual listening podcast anchored on our love of folk music, but with enough slack on the line to wander into our respective worlds of Berlin, Limerick, and beyond. My name is Andrew.
My name is Edward, and thanks very much again for joining us. Don't forget to find us at our native home, which is Substack. You can also keep up to date on what's going on with us on Instagram, on Facebook, and all of the best podcast outlets. Let you judge yourselves where they are, but we're everywhere, so you can find us. Easy to find, and we're also on videos on YouTube every week as well. And we're joined by a special guest this week again.
Hello,
Andy.
Uyghur.
Hello.
So we are joined by Uyghur. Uyghur has very kindly agreed to come onto the podcast this month and be our guest for our February edition. I guess to give a little bit of background to my. So it's kind of like a blind date, really. This feels like a little bit blind date, but we've got someone watching our blind date.
A chaperone. I'm just going to chaperone this whole blind date thing.
But so I met Uyghur through I think you call it the Berliner Solo Sessions.
Berlin Solo Sessions.
Yeah, the Berlin Solo Sessions, which is a monthly, started last month in January, so similar to our own once a month. There, he's running a Berlin. Well, maybe I should let you tell a little bit about it instead of me talking about it. Berliner Solo Sessions. Mm-hmm. What's it about? What's the concept? What's the idea, Uyghur?
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here. And this Berlin Solo Sessions is just a monthly gathering in Bavul Cafe. I think we are going to speak about the place. And then I want to invite musicians and one musician a month, and then play solo sessions with them. And then I would like professional musicians to play things they practice at home, but they don't have chance to play on stage with other people, because it's not easy to create our own projects, and we are generally like side musicians playing for other musicians and others' music. But sometimes we have our own stuff, so I just wanted to open stage for people to do their solo sessions on stage. And also I wanted to encourage my musician friends in Berlin to create one for them, because playing a solo session is a kind of challenging thing. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, playing duo or trio or in an orchestra, you always have something in your behind, so it's a kind of safe space. But if you are alone on stage with your instrument, and it's always a different feeling. So I wanted to open stage for this idea. And I started on January. I planned this on October, but it was so busy. The place was really busy, so that's why I started on January. And then so we are continuing this, and then I would like to continue until summer, and then let's see.
Yeah, nice. And you said that that to give artists a chance. So because you mentioned I guess you and a lot of your I want to say colleagues, but contemporaries, a lot of you are playing kind of as part of other people's projects. Is that a lot of your work is dedicated to just joining someone else's, like a studio? You're a studio cellist, or
no, the concert cellist. I'm not a studio musician. Okay. Studio musician is something different, really. Requires different abilities that I'm not really good in this, but I'm more concert, live music. Artist. So I mean, different projects. They send us their music or the sheets, and we just play. And we also play improvisation in it, but still, it is not your own idea. Someone directing you. But on
Okay.
stage in solo things, you're the boss and you're the slave. You're everything. So like,
I am the boss and the slave.
yeah, together. Yeah,
I think would it be a good idea just to play a little bit from the last solo session? So Uyghur has
yeah,
sent me a little bit through a couple of clips. I've shortened them a little bit
yeah,
because one of,
definitely.
one of them
Yeah,
was 19 minutes, and
yeah. It was in 17, 19 minutes.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
but I've just taken a little kind of 45-second clip and out of it, and so let's go with
I hope
this
you
one to
will enjoy.
start off with.
Savage, savage stuff.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong there, no, guys. That's from the solo sessions on the 27th of February, right? The one, or sorry, the
no,
20 or next to the
Jan-
27th from the previous one,
the
wasn't
16th
it?
January. Yeah,
16th. Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Okay. And that was with Sehun. Sehun, is
Jehun
that how you?
Kaya.
Sorry, say it again. Chehun.
Jehun. Yeah.
Jehun
Yes.
Kaya, yeah. And
They
he
love
was playing
putting
the
letters that don't actually sound like the letters. They're supposed to be like Sehun. I think we've been calling him for
Yeah.
most of the what's it, Jehun?
okay.
J. Yeah.
Well,
Jehun.
The
Je-
alphabet is pronouncing different in Turkish. That's why
it's not fair. I
it's
don't.
not.
It's not. It's. I believe you should. Yeah. No. Let's not go down the road of you should change your alphabet. But the Irish and I'm sure the Uyghurs have been prone to people trying to change our alphabets and our.
No.
so but Chehun, so just so I understand, I suppose the concept of the solo sessions, you invited Chehun there,
Yeah.
and you said, well, let's play together.
Yeah.
And so were you kind of setting up a space where Chehun's work could be nurtured and promoted
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
or was it both of you?
Okay. It was like that. Maybe I could speak about this before. But okay, Jehun is my colleague, so we know each other for a long time. He's also living here for last 10, maybe a little bit more. And then I thought about this concept last year, and then I shared with him. I said, "Look, let's do something like that. I will accompany you, and you will play solos, and you will accompany me. Then you will play solos, so we can do this collaboration." And he was really kind, and he's also good sound engineer, so he offer all equipments and making the sound really nice and record
Yeah,
everything. So he also has a organization called Beyin El Minel. So he's organizing concerts and supporting independent musicians. So he said, "Okay, let's make a collaboration, and your organization we are going to support with Beyin El Minel." And I invited him as a first musician. But then
wow,
our collaboration went well. This month, we decided to do this together and then invite different musicians, like three musicians on stage. But we ask one musician to play one set solo, and then we will play our combination in the second set, and end of the concert, three of us we will play, and we want to do something like that. And I just maybe need to clarify about solo sessions, and it means playing solo, playing improvisation.
mm,
So there is a confusion sometimes. I didn't want to improvise sessions because improvisation is a really big term, so it can be a bit misunderstanding. There are free improvisation in jazz music, classical music. Every music has improvisation. I meant playing improvised solo on accompanied things, or they created their own accompanying on with a looper kind of thing. So I wanted to combine all these things. Yeah, so we
So,
are doing
so,
Jehun.
so it's not necessarily in the moment this person is creating this piece of music. That's not what you're. Well, it can be, I guess, but
The beginning I was thinking like that, but at the end I said I thought it's not necessary. Some musicians we are going to invite, they will play one set alone, and there are some musicians they ask us to make the ground and they want to play on it.
okay.
So this way. But most important thing is the instrument playing is a kind of nerdy. You have to be nerd about your instrument, and you have to focus on discovering new pages or new things on it. So you spend a lot of time to play an instrument in your life, and I have been playing this for maybe 30 years, I don't know. And then I spent hours and hours to discover new things on instrument. First I uh, managed to play, then I put things. So it takes lots of energy and lots of time. So that's why I want people to show the extended techniques on their instruments with their melodic and non-melodic uh, vision.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just had a couple of things stood out when I was listening to that because I had listened to that clip. I believe it's up on YouTube. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But their live recording of that is on YouTube, and the title seems to be Misket. Is that correct? Misket?
Misket,
Misket?
yes.
Misket,
This
yeah.
is a traditional song from Turkey.
Yeah, and it's put together so well, and you hit on all the points actually that stood out to me there. One being the mixing was and recording quality was incredibly good, and but my original question arose because both Jehun's part in the song and your parts in the song were both quite prominent. So you couldn't actually tell who was the near. At times you couldn't tell. Okay, what's the lead here because they were both leading. At times, it was kind of a handover. It was like a call and response in
Yeah.
terms of, let's say, your. Was it a cello you were playing as a kind of a contrabass, or
Okay.
what was that?
Yeah. This is a 5 string electric cello. So there are the range is like cello, and they put one other string in the bass. So it's a kind of piccolo bass and bass cello. So
Mm,
that's why I can play bass like a bass instrument, and then
yeah,
I can also treat like a cello because
yeah.
the strings are allowed me to do that. And yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well. I was struck by the range on that. And sorry, Andy, you cut me off there. You can press the old buzzer and tell me to stop talking at any moment. But like that piece in particular was
Lost the button. The button is.
it was just so good. And like you guys, you just for people who weren't there, maybe just if I could just describe a few things. It starts out with both of you guys laying down a kind of a loop track,
Yes. Yeah.
and then playing over it. And
Yes.
like I said, both of you give each other the space, I suppose, to
Yes.
uh, play individual solos over it. And I guess that's what you mentioned that there. That's
Yes.
where the solo in the solo sessions comes from.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that kind of answered my next question, which was, do you have, do you know what you're going to play when you go there, and maybe that's it? It's all already in your head, or do you have maybe notes that you know you're going to hit along the way and you just improvise around those notes, or is it just full improvisation, but you say it can be anything, it can be any or all of those things, really, is what
Yeah.
I'm understanding. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Okay. The in this case, I can explain like that. I think 10% of the music is decided. Like we are going to play Misket. Misket is a song from Anatolia, and we know the melody. And then while during the rehearsal, we decided accompanying the guitar
Mm,
part and a little bit bass part, and we knew that much. All the rest built on stage. So this is kind of improvise. I mean, 90% we improvise, and the idea of the thing we are doing on stage. And Jehun is a multi instrumentalist, so he's not playing only one instrument, and he plays guitar in that he played guitar, lauta, and saxophone on that concert. So in next concert, he's going to play panduri, instrument, string instrument from Georgia, and he's not going to play lauta next time, and he's going to play synths. So I'm playing acoustic and the bass cello thing, electric cello. So the idea first, we are building the fundamentals of the music, like bass lines, arpeggiato, harmony, everything. And then with the loop machine, luckily we synchronize two loop machines. So we created the atmosphere. After that, we play solo, one he's playing a little bit, then I'm playing, and then sometimes long solos, short solos. At the end, we play collective solos. So this is really nice. You cannot do this with every musician. So you need really to be matched with the people
Yeah.
you're playing. So
The nerd musician.
yes. Yeah, this is, I call that, this is a listening session. So for listening, you really need to be a bit nerd, also, of course. Also it requires lots of experience and time to learn how to listen others and how to call and response.
Mhm.
Calling and responding is really one of the most fundamental parts of playing music, making music together. So that's why we are trying to improve our skill of call and response listening. So that's why the style of the concert we called listening session.
Mhm.
We ask everybody to keep their quietness and let us concentrate, because this is really important. And then just close your eyes and listen. We are going to give you a soundscape of the sound we have, and then just enjoy with that. And if you want, you can sleep
No, absolutely,
or
Yeah.
relax,
absolutely,
chill.
and it is that. It's like it's. I find with a lot of, and when you're laying down those original tracks to play over, it's almost like you're setting like the heartbeat of the song.
Yes.
It really does. There was something, I think another song that you have
Mhm.
recorded on YouTube that I saw was Hare Hare HA.
Hare,
Hare.
my song, the old
This
one.
is
Yeah.
your own piece as well,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah.
And the whole way through this, I think you have one of this kind of, there's a running beat. There's just, I think
Yeah.
you're plucking the bass notes of your cello, and
Yes.
it's just the whole way through it. No matter what you play on top of it, it's this kind of relaxing, safe space of the. Dum, dum,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. That Harry then is an original piece from you. And where's the video from? There's a lot
The
of
video is from Wannsee in
Vanze.
Wannsee.
Ah,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I shoot video there, and there are two parts of Hare. They can find on my YouTube channel. And all music, the music is improvised, but I create a bass line, and on it I played a long improvisation with the feeling of the video and this the winter thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
is the winter lake. Wednesday is a one big lake, by the way. Sorry, Schlachtensee. So
Schlachtensee.
close to Wannsee,
Yeah,
sorry. And in winter time, there are lots of trees but without leaves, so it's a kind of horror movie
yeah,
effect,
yeah,
like
yeah.
old Berlin in winter.
And Schlachtensee is the lake where a lot of nude swimmers go as well, isn't there? Isn't that Schlachtensee near up there?
I didn't see much FKK
Oh,
people there.
I'm hanging out there all the time.
Oh, really?
Just me, just
Okay.
me. Just maybe I was the only naked one there.
Yeah, yeah, but not in winter.
But
Sorry for that.
no
Yeah.
worries at all. But so the Harrow, so you shot that in and you wrote that yourself, and you shot that in Vanse with the misket. Is that the one that we just talked about?
Yeah, in the
You
concert
said this in
place. Anatolia, in Turkey. Yeah.
Anatolians,
Mhm.
and so does misket mean something? Is it a place? Is it a or is there a
Um, Misket, I cannot. I don't want to be silly here. Then there are some meanings, but in this that piece, I don't really know the meaning. But the piece is they use this play. They play this song really fast and they dance on it. So the misket, you really the happy song kind of thing.
Mhm.
However, the origin of this song is not really happy, really sad.
Okay.
So everybody knows this piece for dancing, but really like in weddings you're dancing, enjoying. But when you listen lyrics, they are really sad. And we learned that from musicians. They treat the piece originally, and then we also wanted to treat the piece originally. So this is not really fast happy song. This is really sad song. That's why this is the song. I don't know if it is anonymous or composer.
I guess
I need to.
a lot of folk or old folk
Yeah,
Turkish or Irish songs, I guess we are
yeah,
a lot of them got lost or indeed were
yeah,
redone by the next person and the next person,
yeah.
and whether it was the slow version or the fast version.
We have many, but because of some political things in last centuries, and also the composers change, some anonymous things become non-anonymous, and yeah, the other things
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I'm not really sure who wrote this piece.
Mm. It's funny how with folk music you see across like so many different cultures, that you just described, where um, the song can actually be really sad, but the people listening to it, it brings in a happy feeling because you're not really paying attention to lyrics. That happens so often, and I remember you could love a song for years and not really realize what it's about, and
Yeah,
then you might find it out years later, and it completely changes the song for you. I can think of a few off the top of my head, but there's just it seems to be everywhere across folk music everywhere. It
yeah,
seems to be a common trait.
yeah.
So it's funny to hear I hear it consistently from a lot of folk musicians, so. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's beautiful that song Miska was really and
I
like
mean,
18 minutes was
the-
that's a lot. That's a what would I say? If I knew I was going to be playing an 18-minute long song, I would be worried. I think I would be like,
yeah.
for myself and my
the
stamina.
the idea is we don't play songs, we just get the idea from songs and we build a song on stage. So in that 17 minutes we even didn't play the main melody much. We influenced from Misket, but in 80 minutes, maybe in total 1 minute we played the real melody or two, something like that. We created atmosphere and we played solo up to that. So we are not in a hurry. So we have a whole concert to play. So we take our time and then we chill and we relax and we don't have pressure like, oh, people has to. Oh, no, we don't have this. And also, lots of musicians came to our concerts, for example, so they know what we are talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then, so that's why we had time. 70 minutes I put because I want to people to see what we are doing. We are not playing like 3 minutes piece and finish, clap, another 5 minutes piece, clap. This is not our aim. And another layer we are doing, really, the soundscape. If you realize in the bass there's a sound going, so we are making continuous effects, so it really makes people
Yes, the
relax.
atmosphere
Atmosphere.
is yeah, it's wild in there because Bavul is such a wonderful location for it as well, and the stage is set for you guys, and yeah, I think the whole atmosphere of it and the and it's funny when you talk about these sets because that would be your 3 and 5 minute
Hmm.
sets is I guess is our realm of folk music. That's like Irish. There's generally a story
See,
to be
yeah.
told, and yeah, and I really enjoy it. But sometimes, especially when we first moved to Berlin, so I guess to give you a little bit of background without
Yeah.
kind of people that listen to us all the time, we don't want to be retelling it. Like Ed used to live in Berlin, and
Oh, really?
we moved here to be with Ed to play music, and then
Oh,
he subsequently moved back to Ireland, and we stayed here.
you gave
You
up.
know, he gave up on the dream. We're bringing him back
Okay.
I ran away from them. I ran
here.
away. Get
Just
away!
like really,
Stop chasing
he's
me!
he's really bad at like breakups, so he just moves to other countries and
Ah, I'm sorry to hear
so but yeah, when we first came to Berlin then as well, because we wanted to write an album, but we
that.
also needed to eat, so we were playing in a lot of local bars or
Mhm.
whatever, and 3 hour sets. When I think back and it, like
3 hours.
like we would do 3 hour sets, but all of these 3 5 minute songs, so it's like
Oh,
stop start stop
damn.
start, and
Oh,
the energy it took, and for very little money, as you well know, artists and musicians are
yeah,
working a lot to get very little.
definitely.
So yeah, the idea of being, while Ed described kind of freaking out as I would as well with a 17-minute or 18-minute set, it also sounds wonderful to be able to just relax into your instrument
Yeah,
and kind of, or even I guess our equivalent would be a slow ballad where the atmosphere is kind of just really really engrossing and you're pulling people into the story. But even at that, I
yeah,
guess if it goes longer than 6 or 7 minutes, people are like, kind of, let him die already for the long,
yeah,
let the character die.
yeah.
So
And also, in this century now, because of these social media things, people intention really short, and they just scrolling things. Things are really short, and you have to give all the message really quick in the
mhm.
beginning of your piece or video, whatever.
Mm,
And but I personally wanted to try the other, how I grow up. We listen lots of concerts and lots of music and recordings in one piece, 3 hours, 30 minutes pieces. So there are always we are not repeating. That's the thing. If you follow the music, you can see the continuity and also the structure. So this is really important. But if you do the same thing, it becomes trance music after some time. But we are
Mm.
trying to change it a little bit. So I know this is difficult in this century, in these days, long tracks. But the idea is, as I told you,
Absolutely,
not
but I
stress.
think I've spoken about it as well in previous podcasts. It's like
Yes.
it's that atmosphere. You like it's going to an actual,
Mhm.
having the attention to sit down at home and listen to an album is already a difficult thing. But going to a venue like
Yes.
Bavul,
Hmm.
you're there. You can't.
Yeah.
It's weird to whip out your phone and start like kind of, well, I'll
Yes.
just get, this is lovely in the background of my my Instagram search.
Yeah.
So going to these venues, being part of it, and being pulled in by the artists as
Yeah.
well, it's so important, and even more important, I think, than it has been in the past. Because, as you said, the
Yes.
people are lacking this connection as well, and
Yeah.
music like yours can definitely make people feel very much part of something. You can't help it. Going to Bavul, as I
Hmm.
said about the last concert, how amazing it was. I can't wait for this week. No, it's isn't it this
Yeah.
Thursday?
Thursday,
This,
27th
this
February.
Thursday, and yeah, so it's amazing. And I'd like to kind of something that you've mentioned twice already now. So you're playing cello for kind of for 30 years, and this is kind of something that's interesting me at the moment. And like my background is education as well.
Yeah.
So I'm a teacher, and
Um,
just kind of like what age were you when you got into the cello? When did you start?
30 is too much. I started when I was 15,
15.
so I'm
You started learning the
42.
cello when you were 15.
Yeah, I'm
What
42 now.
brought you to the cello?
I mean, sorry, I was playing guitar like rock guitar when I was in secondary school, like 12. And then I really wanted to learn guitar. I wanted to do music. My brother was really encouraging me to do that because he couldn't learn guitar much, and he was composing, and he needed someone to accompany him. So I learned electric guitar, and I was doing lots of solo things, and he was really proud of me. And then I entered music school, but it was really newly built music school because I grew up in Antalya. It's a really small. It was really small city in Turkey. So when I entered, there were guitar teacher and violin teacher. No, there was no violin teacher. There was guitar and flute teacher. So I had to choose instrument. And first year I didn't have any instrument teacher at school, but next year, my second year, the symphony orchestra opened in Antalya, and the two really nice ladies came from symphony to school to teach. And one day, our the school manager just called all the students who didn't choose instrument yet, and then we were 17, 18, and there were two ladies, and the manager asked, look, we have one cello and one violin teacher, so you guys all in officially violin section, but 17, I mean, someone has to choose cello.
Yeah, yeah,
No one chose, and I was thinking, okay, so 17 students, one teacher, but one student, one
yeah. One
teacher.
teacher.
And
Yeah.
I switched, and then I finished my school with two cello students,
Thought you were going to say
one teacher.
two teachers.
Yeah, yeah,
I ended up having two teachers.
yeah. And I spent lots of time with my teacher, and I really focused on cello, and I was practicing a lot. I was really happy that I chose that instrument because the instrument has a wide range. You can do many things with that. So your limits are really huge, and it's also big like your body.
Yeah,
And then also I was lucky that I made this decision. I spent a lot of time with my instrument. My um, co- classmates who choose violin, they had just 20 minutes a week.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
2 hours a
So,
week.
nice. Wow. And then
Yeah.
that passion then for music then, but if you even had to go back, so you learned the guitar then. So like, was music in your family? Is it
No, no,
no?
just my brother.
Just your brother,
Yeah.
and your brother was pushing you, and of course
Yes.
there is the
Yeah.
teenage I
Yeah.
can be a rock star, which can attract lots of things that maybe you can be part of social groups then as well. So
Yeah.
and then from that your brother kind of pushed you, or not pushed you, but this was already an interest for
I
you.
mean, he didn't need to push. He just become a role model for me. and he encouraged me to do that. So I had these environments, his friends, and he just wanted to buy guitar, and my father bought really nice guitar to us, and there were guitar, and he was always watching MTV. MTV was wow, nice thing in that
Nice.
time.
We're all
Yeah,
part of the same generation here. It's
yeah,
good to see we're all
yeah.
we're all hitting the same age.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were listening lots of MTV and playing lots of Nirvana, alternative grunge things. We were really doing this thing. So he encouraged me without pushing. So I really wanted to do that, and then he was really proud. And today he passed away 2002. It was today 20.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
2002.
yeah,
On this day, he
yeah.
passed away. I'm very sorry to hear.
So this is the day for that.
Oh well,
I mean, the subject came, but
absolutely. Do you mind me asking? How did he pass away, or was it?
the car accident.
Oh no.
So I also had injury here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You were with him.
that was me too.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Well, I'm really
yeah.
sorry to hear
No, no,
that.
I didn't open this to
No, no,
change. Sorry.
absolutely. But I'm sure that had a major influence on
Yeah.
everything that happened. So you were living in Turkey at that time as well, then?
Yeah, it was my first year in college, and because I after during my high school study, I was really interested in jazz music and alternative music. I was really not into classical music and really classical direction, because this music school was for educating music teachers, and I have really big respect to music teaching teachers. But my father, my grandfather, all my family, they are teacher,
Oh, really?
and I have spare respect, but I'm the only one who doesn't have respect to teach children.
Oh, really?
Uh, I'm not, yeah, I don't have, what can I do? So that's why I really focus on jazz music in that time. So I went to Istanbul and I get the full scholarship in only Jazz Institute in that time, Istanbul Big University. So I get full scholarship. And then it was a kind of dream for me. I was the first and last cello student there. It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First and
Wow.
last.
Yeah.
Very hard to strike up conversations with other cellists there, so nobody to bounce your cello talk off of, I guess. Oh, that's
No,
mad.
I was joking that I was the best cello student at the school, and then they were asking, "You're also the worst one, you know?" Yes, this is the nature. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I was like, yeah,
Well, we're the number one Irish hosted podcast in Berlin,
oh
so
yeah,
probably not actually.
proud.
Probably not.
Probably
I
we're
don't
more
think
popular.
all
We're
you
very
get on
popular in
that one.
France for some reason.
Oh, nice.
But I,
Yeah,
but I was you were just to stick with your bio.
yeah.
I hope you don't mind. I feel like
Please, please.
whenever we're talking to people on this podcast, I feel like such a stalker, because I want to read a bit about you and kind of like find out a bit about you. But there is your website. You have a website up
Yes, yes,
on the internet, and
yes.
I just it's one of the pages has your bio on it.
Yeah,
I was reading, going, oh my god, this guy, this guy has done so much, and and it's taken you all over the place actually as well. Just read out some of the places that you've like in Lisbon in Portugal, obviously Berlin in Germany, Graz in Austria, Baku in Azerbaijan, um, Bern in Switzerland, obviously
mm,
in Istanbul in Turkey,
mm,
Afyon in Turkey,
mm.
Rome in Italy. Like you've been all over the place.
Yeah. I'm 42, so I had time to do
42. This is
all
like
these things.
we only have 42-year-old guests, it seems, on this show
Yeah.
because we're both 42.
Okay, so I think we had enough time to do that. The thing is, I studied. I mean, in this bio, you realize that I believe in hybrid learning and building career, and I studied music, and then I also studied visual communication design. I'm not a visual artist. I'm not a designer, but I did my master there, and I teach in I was teaching at cinema television department after I finished my BA, and I was teaching sound design and soundtrack writing kind of things to the students. And I also learned a lot for contemporary art in that time. So I was teaching contemporary media aesthetics. I was hosting lots of artists, international artists. 2010 Istanbul was burning because of the cultural European culture, blah blah. Lots of artists were coming to Turkey. It was not difficult to find the world class artists just around you. So I was learning a lot from them. So these things really improved myself. And then I was also interested in free improvisation kind of thing, which was really not popular in Turkey, still not popular anywhere. Anyway.
It's like kind of jazz, kind of
Free jazz.
free jazz. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was into free jazz, but free improvisation is not even jazz. So the sound words beyond genres, let's say.
Okay. Is this what like? And now I'm going to kind of
Yeah,
more
we will
more
go like
stalky
yeah,
stuff. Is that kind of what the punk puppet or punk?
yeah,
That
yeah,
is that punk puppets.
yes,
Is that,
yes,
that's what that kind of is? Because I was
yes,
when I was watching kind of. I think you have a 10 or 18 minute clip of that up.
yes.
I was like, I'm going to classify this as jazz, weird jazz.
No. This is the free improvisation, and when you play, you really don't think genres, and you can play free improvisation with jazz musicians, classical musicians. You just need to have this idea and collective idea for listening, and not to limit yourself with melodic words, because melodies, what we listen, really created. This is what we learned. And also the tempo system on your guitar or piano is artificial. It's not natural. Maybe in the last 300 years we learned this temperate system, but if you listen, we don't have chance to listen original sound of Vivaldi, for example, the early Baroque or and before they didn't have this tuning system. So if you some right now there are some researchers, they are trying to research the tuning system of early Baroque, and they are finding out that it's really weird
That
when you listen the original and after they research, and our music in puppets is more melodic.
okay.
Are they trying to, are they having to like reverse engineer from the music
Yeah,
that, let's say, the
yeah.
existing sheet music, they look at that and they go, well, the only way they could play this is if the tuning was
Mhm.
this way. Is that how
Yeah,
they do it?
sheet music is always same, but tuning is different. So the tuning happened with the modern piano, the temperate system. They said they temperate, so they divided everything equal. So they treat everything equal. So the tuning system is not natural. In the nature, we don't have this system. So that's why before piano they had completely crazy tuning system. So they
Hmm.
didn't have really technological parameter machines like so they it was really by your ear you were tuning. But in this case, if you tune the piano naturally, it's completely different.
Mhm.
So that's why you shouldn't think the modern temperate system when you listen free improvisation, because our aim in free improvisation is not pretending this unnatural system. So above everything, you just express yourself and your communication with other artists. In the puppet ritual, for example, the one double bass player, a French artist who's living in Vienna right now, and then me. And two dancers, so four of us communicating on stage with our art, not with words. We don't know
Yeah, yeah. It's
what they're going to do.
it's really enjoyable, and in context when you're talking about like because oftentimes I think we can watch these kind of things and
Yeah,
go whatever free jazz. This is free,
yeah.
but like I guess in context and even with what you're saying now about kind of the baroque and
Mhm.
going back and the different tunings,
Yeah,
it's quite wild to watch you
yeah,
guys on stage then and trying to kind of
yeah,
I guess recreate.
yeah. But this is a kind of artist masturbation, I say, musician masturbation. So when you go to improvised concert, really musicians
We have a
enjoy the
whole episode
first.
about that. Actually. Don't listen to it. Our interpretations of artists.
But on stage, we are enjoying a lot.
It's true, yeah.
So the audience are
Yeah.
joining our So sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you can say joining in on the master.
Yeah. Joining the fun, yes.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes it become really bad. But generally, if you
Well,
play
again,
with
just like
nice musician,
masturbation. That's exactly same as
yeah.
that. You know.
Sometimes it's fine.
But I think the ending
The
the ending is
clock.
less. The ending is less biological. Let's say, which
Let's say.
which is good.
Oh no,
But
you haven't been to Rihan's concerts. He at the end of each concert he just throws a load of stuff all over people. I assume it's just water.
Yeah. I mean,
but
you cannot mind audience when you play free improvisation. You just need to close all your awareness and focus on music and your colleagues' interpretation, interaction. Sorry, and then when you finish, you open, and then things happening. So it's a
Yeah,
kind of sweat there and
yeah.
everything.
Like when
yeah,
you said about that that kind of listening, I guess like Ireland would have like and I know you probably know a couple of Irish musicians probably from because I know a couple go to Baful
Hmm.
and Ireland has its own tradition of Irish traditional music. I don't know if you've been to many of
Hmm.
the sessions, but when you talk about kind of people listening and being able to improvise, like of course there is standard tunes
Yeah.
understood by everyone,
Hmm.
but going to one of these sessions is I guess my only comparison to that would be the Irish trad scene where they kick off tunes and there's usually two different tunes mixed together and
Hmm.
everyone kind of knows the standard bass line and then
Yeah.
if depending on your own skill level you'll
Hmm.
improvise with that as well and play around with it as well and
Yeah.
again not Ed and I's wheelhouse. We are
no,
both
no.
self-taught and we're not terrible. We're all right.
No, but I suppose
Perfect.
I stay firmly between the frets. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So I stay firmly between the frets, and I see. Let's say, you might have to repeat the name of that electric cello. Was there a particular name you had for it there? The one that you were playing in Bavul, or was it
The
just
5 string electric cello. Yeah.
cello? And obviously no frets on that. But
Yeah.
you were going all over it. I mean, it was like you said. I think you used the word versatile as well, or the range of it. And
Hmm.
some of your solos there as well. They did kind of remind me of some jazz, of a kind of a jazz
Yeah.
thing. No, I might be mischaracterizing that or I'm mislabeling that,
Hmm.
but just the solos were really really impressive, I have to say, and
Yeah.
just well done. That's
Thank
all
you.
I can say to you. And
Thank you very
the
much.
there's one thing I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't touch on as well, which was
Please.
Jehun. You mentioned he's a multi instrumentalist,
Yes.
and we didn't actually talk about his singing. And I think the singing as well
Yeah.
was an instrument in itself. Nearly, you know,
Hmm.
So
it was so good. And
Yeah.
one of the clips we got was actually
Gaz-
I might need some clarification from you on this.
I have
Is
one loaded up, Ed. Would you wanna have a listen first, or do you want to keep
the
on?
gazelle.
Gazelle, yeah.
Yeah,
Gazelle?
we should listen
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Again,
Sure.
Uyghur was kind enough to send me a very long clip, and I have picked a moment in it. I hope I have picked
I
a good moment.
no, no, I was 100% trusting you. That's why I was asking you to choose what
Cool.
you like.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sesime ses verin dumanlı dağlar bakar yücelerden.
Yes.
yeah, and just the underlying bass line to that as well,
Absolutely. The heartbeat. Yeah, it's so
unbelievable.
nice.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, then in that song, he reaches quite a high
Yeah. Yeah.
climactic note there,
Yes.
uh, and I attempted to try and copy it here, and just when I was listening to it afterwards, it is so high. I didn't record it, and we don't have it, luckily for everybody. But
I think
Like,
that's what everyone is expecting.
oh my god, like it was
When
unbelievable. And
Igor
it
is
come
not here, we will do our own. We'll have a gazelle off.
Okay, as soon as you don't publish. Yeah.
and then immediately after that,
Hmm.
he breaks into his soprano saxophone solo, I believe. And yeah, I just, for anyone listening to this, just it's very easy to find on YouTube, and I would recommend listening. It's really, really beautiful, and it's something, let's say, that I would not have had. It's a type of music that I would not have had a lot of exposure to in my life, and so to listen to that, it's something completely new for me, and really, really nice, really
Yeah.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
so thanks for that, and it's really
Yeah,
nice.
Jason is master in this, and the thing is, in our collaboration, Jason is really talented and really professional and experienced musician, but we are from different fields. So he played lots of melodic music, and he played lots of music like this, and he had uh, compositions in more melodic world and Turkish music, and he's also self-taught musician. He really trained himself very well, and his emotion when he's playing or singing really beautiful. So I came from different verse, so we are trying to combine these verse together. And then in this track, for example, this ghazal is a kind of I don't want to be wrong, but the religious thing also, some they are singing 3 to 5 minutes improvisation. The lyrics are decided, and first two lyrics and then third, fourth are repeating itself, and then the long form and masters are singing this, because this is going really high pitches, and then also the makam wise, the mood of the scale really important, and you really know what you're doing, otherwise it's not going to sound like this.
Mm.
The only singing in high pitch is not enough, and also how you spell all these words and how you treat the makam ornamentations are really important. So Ceyhun is really good in this, so that's why in the bass line I play more, you realize, the funky thing. So
Mm.
it,
Yeah,
by the way, all was improvised. We didn't decide that. I was even
that's
upset that he sing Gazelle as a second piece. Normally, this is it should wait a little bit, maybe end of concert or end of first
Yes.
set. And he
Yeah.
suddenly entered when I was creating a bass line and some atmosphere like that, and he
He's
entered.
given the crowd what you needed to keep them for. Don't
Yes.
give it up so early, Joan, on Thursday. If you're listening to this, then
Yes. Yeah, we are going to the. So in cello I play all bass lines, and I also play lots of high pitches solos. So yeah, this is the thing for J.
and a gazelle. Then the gazelle is the type of song, then, isn't it?
The
Like
type, yes.
it's not the name of a
It's the
song.
form.
It's the form of the song. And I was
Yes.
reading about this, that it's something like it has to be at least 15. What did you call them as well?
Five to. I mean, right now it says 5 to 15 minutes.
5 to 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and then and in this particular song, then do you know what is Jehun like? So you said it is kind of connected to religion, so it's kind of similar to, because it does sound like I lived in the Middle East for a little bit, and the call to
I
prayer,
see.
it does sound a little bit kind of like the way they call to prayer. Is that where you say the connection to religion is?
The Ghazal singers are generally the religious Quran singers. So
Okay.
they read Quran with melodies. This is style, and those people in that style they also do Ghazal, and generally they are using this diwan literature for as lyrics, and I'm not really sure it has to be religious, but also it can be, I think, different things.
Mhm.
And in that piece, Jaehoon told me that this is his lyrics. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he's a really talented guy. And then maybe if I'm not wrong, this is his lyrics.
Wow.
And I mean, maybe I cannot translate, but really nice. And it's
Mhm.
about listen to me and hear my voice. I'm trying to reach you, kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's really poetic.
But the way he sings it, as Ed has spoken to, and the way he's like he's building and building, and it's kind of like
Hmm.
some music requires a story, or
Yes.
requires you to understand the story,
Hmm.
especially if there's a kind of a monotone thing. And so, okay, I have to get focused in on the lyrics. But for
Yeah.
sure, that was not something you were kind of just staring at him
Yeah.
going, go,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
higher, go
Yeah.
more. I want more.
There is a nice climax, and
Yeah.
you're climbing to climax. At the end, you go, then real fastly going down and finishing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as when you pick up a soprano saxophone straight after, it's kind of like, okay, that's probably how that's if we're going to go back to the masturbation, that's the cigarette at the end. That's the saxophone is Jehun pulls out the cigarette and goes, and I'm going to play some saxophone for you.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
This is a really nice form that we wanted to put.
Yeah.
Generally, you don't hear ghazal in Babul, for example. I mean, it's not folk music; it's more the other tradition, more religious tradition part.
Mhm.
That's why this ghazal thing on stage with the electric bass and all these modern instruments, we are trying, and it just happened like that last month, and this month, I don't know how we will play
Yeah.
the ghazal. Let's see.
Did you just because you we talking about Bavul then as well? Tell us about your relationship to Bavul. Like, how long have you been connected? Like, I've talked about Bavul a number of times in the podcast. I go there pretty much by
Yeah,
myself. Went over there when he was visiting one time to one of the workshops on Tuesday,
nice.
Yeah.
and I try to go there as much as I can, as much as we'll kind of link in. I brought my instrument at the beginning and then started to realize, oh God, these guys are doing something very different, as you already said, like especially the sessions after the workshop
Yes,
can be
Tuesday
just choosing
folkberg sessions.
amazing. And some of the people, like I think last week I played a clip of someone playing a melodica, and I had
Okay.
never, like, we bought a melodica as a joke once,
Okay.
to play it when we were traveling around Bosnia, and and we kind of like assumed the melodica is always a joke instrument until I saw this lady playing it last week in Bavul, and she
No.
was just, oh my God, in a similar way to Jehun, and that kind of like grabbing your attention. It was so beautiful. But anyway,
Mhm.
I digress. Bavul, like, I've tried to explain Bavul to people, and it's the
Mhm.
concept while not truly knowing the concept. Like, how long have you been connected to Bavul?
I mean, 2019. By the way, I'm just going there. I really like what they do, and I know the responsible people, and I know people who are going there often, and I don't really know their history or the real. Background kind
Mhm.
of thing, but which is really nice that I don't need to know to go there because
Yeah.
I feel safe, I feel home there. uh, Bowl is a collective organization, so it's not a profit organization, it's non-profit. So I don't know exactly who are in collective, but when you go there you really feel home and you help them, and you just grab some chairs at the end of the night, just put somewhere, and we support them to play, and we are going concerts, and whatever they need, we are always there. And I'm not alone, we are really big family. And 2019, one of my musician friends, we were doing something with her, is a Kurdish singer, amazing singer, and she asked me to play at Bubble. I asked, "What is Bubble?" It was really new. They said there is a new cafe, but they think to make music, but they don't know how to make. 2019, yes, 18. We were speaking. We said, "Okay, let's do it on February 2000." No, 2020 February, we get date, and then we wanted to try music there, some Kurdish music, and also I will accompany with my cello. We want to do some small thing, and it was 2020 February 20, something like that. Of course, because of
Oh
pandemic we
God.
couldn't do that, and we
Yeah.
canceled. And then after pandemic they started, and they grow really fast because Berlin really needs free stage to make music and combine cultures. We are really multiculti here. However, we don't have space to come together much. Of course, there are places, but Bubble created really nice, safe environment for everybody. And then I don't know when, but another collective, Folkberg, start these Tuesday workshop and jam sessions. I didn't know them from beginning because I had an accident on. I destroyed my shoulder in 2019, so I was out of music scene and playing for a while. So in that time, things happened, and yeah, they are still every Tuesday they organize workshop at Bavul. It's a musician from all over there. Every week, one musician teach their songs from their country. So it's they don't really focus on one country. This is really nice. They no nationality dominates this selection.
Mhm.
So it can be Chile or Egypt or Turkey, Greece, everywhere, or Irish.
Yeah, I think I was there 2 or 3. I think
Yes,
the day I met you, I was leaving, and you had just arrived. I think there was a Flemish song,
yes,
which very entertaining. A song
yes,
translated, it means
yeah,
men have beards.
yeah,
Men have
yes,
beards. It was all about having beards. Which
yes,
again, I think we only have had bearded men so
yeah,
far
yeah,
on the so big and we have our own crew of pirates pretty soon. We just keep on gathering.
yeah. I came a bit late that day. I missed the piece.
But no, yeah, no, Bavul is so
Mhm.
fantastic, and then so you're gonna, yeah, so you plan on doing these solo sessions then until
Yeah,
the summertime, and then you had wrote to me you're thinking of trying to do a little bit of a tour with Jehun, or is that
yeah,
something you think that you will be able to put together in the time
yes.
between now and the summer?
Yeah. We are trying to make this project, our duo project, not the solo session. I would like to keep solo session in Bavul because Bavul is the place for these, and I want people to take the this idea at Bavul. Maybe we will do in another places, but at the moment I don't have this plan. But
Yeah,
our duo project with Jehun, we want to keep it, move it somewhere else.
yeah.
So right now we are still cooking, but yeah, we are going to be in Vienna end of May, and we are going to play I think 29th of May in Vienna with Petra, this amazing Balama player, a
Okay,
partner of Jehun. So we are going. Three of us will play similar things,
okay.
and we are trying to do more. Right now, we are still working on
What
it.
was the instrument that Petra plays again? Say that again.
Saz, bağlama. And this is the traditional Turkish
You keep
instrument.
saying all these traditional Turkish instruments to
Yeah,
me, and
yeah.
the image that's conjuring up is just something like a bowl, a spoon, and a stick coming out of it,
No,
because all the instruments look so unusual.
yeah.
And
Look, there's a really nice documentary you can find. S-A-Z, Saz.
Saz,
The Petra is
write it down, Ed.
traveling from really Asia, Mid Asia, till Europe, and following the history of these instruments. So
Really?
in every country, every nation, and every part, they play kind of these instruments with different versions. So it's really nice documentary. Maybe people like to watch
Yeah. No, and it's so interesting. Like,
on the road.
absolutely, it would be.
Mhm.
I'll definitely watch it, and I find these instruments so, because they came as far as kind of, they made it as far as, I would say, kind of Greece, Turkey,
Yes.
and then I guess I'm sure there's some historical, and I'm sure politics and everything out of it, but like it didn't seem like they got further than that then, because
Mhm.
France and I guess Germany and Spain then started to have their own. I guess maybe they had their own culture as well. Like, I know Ireland, where there's a bouzouki players in Ireland, which is about the closest thing that I've seen. I
Okay.
have one up there. Do not ask me to play it. My,
Oh
my
yeah,
wife
sure.
bought it for me
Oh,
a
nice.
long time ago.
Go and
Uh,
practice.
oh, we'll play off microphone. We'll
Yeah.
we'll jam
Yeah,
together.
I mean, this immigrancy is really important. People bring food and also music.
Mhm.
In Germany and also in many parts of Europe, the saz, this bağlama, is really common, and there are schools. People, non Turkish people, are also learning, and there are big schools, teachers. It's really common. By the way, the instrument is really, they call Turkish guitar, which is a silly thing, but really tiny neck. So you play real long neck.
Yeah.
This is one of the common instruments in Anatolia. So this is an amazing instrument. So you can see everywhere. I'm sure if you type saz or
Mm.
bağlama on Google, you will see what it
You found
is.
it, Ed?
There's a documentary called "The Key of Trust." That's about seems to be about the SAS. Or maybe that's a different thing. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, maybe, but we can put maybe
yeah,
the
we can put
link.
a link into it as
I
well.
don't know if it is free see. I don't know
No,
how they publish it. This is independent director made,
yeah.
really beautiful.
Which brings me back to a point actually as
Yeah,
well that I
please.
would like to make on that kind of like you
Mhm.
mentioned these spaces, these free spaces that Bavul
Mhm.
provide as well, and it's something I've noticed. I've gone to it like I'm trying to go once or twice a week to different
Mhm.
folk sessions or
Mhm.
open sessions around Berlin,
Mhm.
and most of them are free. And that's the probably the problem with Berlin as well, musicians as well, is like, you know, Bavul and places like it are amazing because they provide free spaces. But I'm liking seeing artists now asking for
Mhm.
not just the basket going around, but like provide money for artists, because like the amount of like quality musicians like yourself with in and around 30 years of experience, trained your whole life to musician. And I feel like we've got into this kind of place in Berlin where like you're almost expected free music. You know, you go
Mhm.
into a place and I don't know. I say this kind of maybe just speaking to the Berliners or maybe to the Irish as well, and anyone that's listening, is like you go to these sessions when it's free, give the money to the artist then as well.
Yeah.
Like don't go, oh wonderful, free gig, because like I've been at a couple now, and then I'm glad to see people are asking for more than just a basket round, but like 10 euros, 15 euros, because that's what you're paying for. You're paying for
Yeah.
like your gig. Like we left halfway through because I had to get home to my kids,
Yeah.
but you must have played for 90 minutes, I would say, in total. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you had a first sessions, and like, where would you
Yeah.
get a concert to the quality of
Mhm.
having someone like Jehun and you
Mhm.
um, performing for free? And
Mhm.
then, and yeah, so I don't know. It's just a little side note that I'd like, and that I would always encourage anyone that's listening, when you're going to see these artists and these spaces that provide it. The artists are providing music for the bars. The bars need to survive, so you need to buy drinks in these places, or
Mhm.
whatever it is, or money, and then the artists to keep doing this. It's almost similar to kind of watching people busking around Berlin. I'm always like, oh, I don't want this to change, so give them, you know, throw when it's a good busker.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's so simple to keep money going, because that's how it will stay. Otherwise, you know, whatever, people move on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Tuesday sessions are free
Yeah.
because it's not a concert. This is just um, the event, workshop event. Everybody does everything voluntarily, and then you just you buy your drink, and also bubble is not uh, having problem. And then the musicians are not playing like a concert, but normal concerts, there's some discussions about it, and they want music to accessible to everybody, because this is a kind of solidarity
Yeah.
feeling place. However, musicians, professional musicians like us, uh, shouldn't play for free. I mean, this is a big discussion that we
Mhm.
are still, this argument is going on, how much money we should ask. And there are lots of amateur musicians playing.
Mhm.
So this is creating some problems, because they pay their rents with their normal job, day jobs, and in the evening they just come and play. They
Yeah.
should also be there, because, as I told you, also stage should be accessible for everybody. But
Mhm.
when you play as a professional musician, you cannot play for free.
Yeah.
Even you cannot play with the normal donation money, like €5 kind of things. This is kind of hilarious, because
Mhm.
no one's paying my rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all these instruments are my own. On that stage I had kind of 6,000-7,000 euro, only my instrument, like 10,000 euro I also only had on stage, and Jehun had. And then we pay money to do that, all this sound and everything. We spent 3 days to make all these things. So there's time, money requires
Mhm.
for profession, but you can come with your really normal cheap guitar and play also music. So that's why we are still discussing.
It's a real fine balance between not isolating people from
Yeah,
whatever a community like Bavul provides, and a place to go and play,
yeah,
versus like, you know, you lean too much into
yeah,
you're hoping on the goodwill of people,
yeah,
and maybe
yeah,
that's not enough sometimes. But it's, yeah, I get it. The balance it's
yeah,
very difficult to make. But
yeah.
yeah.
I would like to say this before maybe changing the subject, and we ask €15 for recommended music fee. But if you don't have money, you don't have to pay. Or if you have less money, you pay. But if you really like, you want to pay, you're welcome to pay €1,000 or maximum €25,000. I mean, we are free. We want to involve as
Absolutely, yeah,
much
yeah.
people as
You kind of
possible.
look at yourself and you kind of go, and I like that as long as it's making sense for you guys, you know,
Mhm.
that the people that turn up, and that's the tricky thing. Keeping these things open, I'm all for it.
Perfect.
I think that the move is now on the listeners and the people that want to come to these concerts, you know, what you're getting, you know, what versus kind of, you know, are you getting what you expect, and can you afford it, you know, or are you kind of, so yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I also brought us into this world as well, but I do think it's important that people always reflect on kind of the free music scene Berlin offers,
Independent
and
music scene.
it does have a trickle down effect where like where we were playing, I guess at the beginning of Berlin, and like we were getting, I would say, screwed over by a lot of bars because it was just watered down. So I think we were 3 hour sets with something like €200 or two
Oh
hundred
dear.
euros, another three
Oh
hundred
dear.
euros.
Well,
So yeah,
I remember coming out with €60
Yeah.
from those. Let's say for myself, and €60 each, I believe, was
yeah.
what we were.
Which isn't good enough for us, but also damages, as you said, other musicians then who are
Yes.
trying to kind
Yeah.
of like, you know, like at that time we were actually trying to, this was our income, you know, and we needed
Mhm.
the money, but at the same time, bars probably knew it as well. But if you don't do it, we'll get someone that
Yeah.
is willing to work for pretty much nothing. But
There is a
thankfully,
big question right
yeah,
now.
but thankfully, Bavul is the space that they're providing, and it's wonderful. And the Tuesday night session is workshops, is a drop in kind of enjoy with everyone, and a wonderful kind of what I would consider just a traditional session afterwards with anyone that's interested. And it's
Okay. Yeah.
really amazing.
This is the second part after workshop.
After workshop,
They
yeah.
give a little bit break then, because the if you have instruments, you come. If you want to sing, you come for singing. Doesn't matter. And then all the music instruments brought for workshop after the second after the break, they just play.
Mhm.
I mean, without any pressure, kind of thing. They play together. Musicians from all over the world. By the way, this is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice.
it's really amazing.
I have some feedbacks for them because they sometimes it becomes super loud and super cacophony. We call that mess. And they don't lead some fundamentals of music making, gathering music making. But yeah, this is I don't judge them. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Especially people trying to put things together. No, I think you should on the podcast. I think we should now tell them what to do.
Uh,
I will keep you safe, Joan, or not Joan. We go.
But
Sorry, Ed. Go on.
no, just I just wanted to kind of go back there. You mentioned about equipment on the stage and things like that, and you also mentioned previously in the podcast about, you know, people are welcome to close their eyes and just let themselves be taken away by the music, and I definitely see the appeal to that. But I would recommend before people close their eyes is that they watch you guys with all of the work the instruments and work the equipment, because it's you know, there's something really nice and what's the right word? Like it's very awe inspiring to watch people who are so good at something.
yes.
You know, use those things. You know, so fair enough. I get what you're saying about, like, you know, let the music take you away, but definitely watch for a little while and just appreciate these guys. You know, using not just the instruments but but the electric stuff as well. The loop
Mhm.
pedals and the just the getting all the levels right. And I mean, it's a skill
Yeah.
in itself.
And not looking stressed doing it.
And not looking stressed, not looking
Whether you
stressed.
are or not,
Amazing.
but that
Yeah,
all feeds into the audience because we've all been
it
there,
does.
kind of like whatever. It's not working. I
But
think you were getting a click in. There was some click
Yeah, there
happening,
was
and it
some,
was very nicely done. That you there was, I think, it was like
yeah.
a metronome was
Yeah,
going
there
off.
was a
So
metronome because
that,
we have in our ear the monitoring metronome that audience don't know, don't hear, and then we play things on metronome sometimes. But suddenly, really, we still don't know why this metronome went out, and we didn't know what to do. It
I
was
love the
nice.
metronome. To be honest with you, the sound of the metronome is probably one of the most beautiful sounds.
Okay, okay, nice. Good
No,
to hear
I
that.
couldn't even hear it actually. I'll be honest with you. You guys start saying it, and I had to go to my friends and go, "What are they talking about?"
You thought this is a part of
Because I could,
music.
I just, it was just whatever moment it was. But then again, maybe I was being taken away by the
Yeah,
music.
in the
Yeah.
first track we listened, this Misket one really. relax one, and tak, tick, tak, tak. It was not what we wanted to play. I mean, we can play with metronome loud. We can treat like instrument, but not in that
Yeah,
piece.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I remember thinking to myself, it was the whole, even the reverb levels were all perfect. It sounded
Yes.
great. It was
Yeah.
mixed to perfection. And
Yes.
then
Yes.
at one point in it, I heard like everyone was kind of applauding, and I heard a very distinct Andy whistle coming from the crowd. You
Oh,
definitely
did you?
whistled at one point, Andy. It got through
Woo!
and made it onto the track. Yeah, yeah.
I've
But
worked as a sports teacher as well, so I perfected my whistle.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know.
Um, and just onto, I'm just going to hog it here now for another minute or two, just to go back to your music as well and your work. And you have a song there. I believe it's an original song called "Breath of the Night."
Yeah.
It's a piece that you I think you composed yourself. Am I correct?
The
I'm
old
correct in saying this.
improvisation.
Yeah, and it's absolutely beautiful. Again, I saw it on YouTube. I don't know if it's in other places that it can be found, but I saw it on YouTube, and it's a video of you just playing this. What was the instrument that you were playing actually for that?
Okay, the piece I played, there were two. One I played oud, one I played lauta. So could you
Mm.
please remind me? There were flats on it or fretless?
There were no frets on this on the
Okay,
one
this
in
is
the
oud.
video.
This is the
Yeah.
Turkish version of oud.
Mm.
The lute, the origin of the lute or guitar all comes from same instrument. So in Turkey we play in this version. In Arabic words they play a little bit bigger, more bass sound. In Iran they play similar but a bit different. So the name of the instrument is Turkish oud.
It was really beautifully done, and you were going everywhere on the fretboard. It was wonderful, and it wasn't until it was so subtle at the very end that there was another instrument there, and there was another almost although it's not, I wouldn't say a bass line, but it was like a line of like atmospheric sound uh,
Yeah.
mixed in with that. I didn't notice it until almost towards the end. It was so
Yes.
subtle. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of got me. It was only afterwards that I was reading your bio and stuff like that. And on your website, there's a there's a photo of you with a microphone up to a radiator,
Ah,
and you're
okay.
recording the sound of a, of a radiator. And
Yes.
then that kind of brought me to this one. Sorry, now getting very stuck. You build the soundscapes, and it's called "In Tune with the Built." Is that in tune
Yes.
with the
Yes.
built? And I
Yes.
thought it was so interesting as well. Like, where I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that. Do you enjoy doing soundscapes? Is that something you do a
No.
lot of, or just only a small
I
bit?
love this. And this
Yeah.
is my master thesis, the production period of my master thesis. I did my master in visual communication design, and then I work with visual designers, really talented ones. Refik Anadol, right now, he's one of the most talented video mapping, artificial intelligence artists in LA.
What's his
So
name again?
Refik Anadol.
Rafik Anadol.
Yeah, I mean, in this world, he's this is genius. So I work with him in this project, and yeah, during my master, I focus on audio recording and field recording and soundscape studies. I studied a lot of soundscape, and then it was really long time ago, by the 2006, 7, 8, 9. I was really into that.
Mm.
I was focusing on micro sounds of buildings architecture. In that project, in my master, I recorded the micro sounds of our educational building. It was newly built metal construction building. So I was teaching assistant in the school. So I was teaching assistant for 3 years. Then I was a teacher. But all the time long I was staying in the building to 724,
So
like
yeah,
all the day long.
like our listeners aren't as knowledgeable as Ed and I when it comes to understanding all of this.
Sorry, it was too advanced.
I was for the sake of our listeners, not for me. I get everything you're saying about
Okay.
micro sounds, but for everyone else that doesn't understand, when you say a micro sound,
Okay, I'm going to explain this. That's
yeah.
why I was also staying at
So you like,
the building in the night.
yeah, that's what I was
So
going to
yeah,
say. You're just
yeah,
listening
yes,
to what the building does.
yeah. I was working and sleeping there. We were working a lot. So in the night you start hearing the fundamentals of the building. During the day you don't recognize, because there's always bass sound, and your brain really smart, and they just eliminate the continuous sound in the environment, and they focus on more other things like dialogues or machine sounds kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when everybody gone, when there is no sound, we call silence, but it's not silence, and then radiator sounds getting amplifying, and then the electric room sound is amplifying, and when you're walking the corridor you hear so
Yes.
all these things are going high. So that's why those are micro sounds of building. So I concentrate on 3 4 parts on the building. So one was radiator, the heating system. One was uh, electric wire room, blah blah
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
system
yeah.
room. And then another one, it was a metal construction, amazing, nice building. So and when you walk in stairs, all building vibrates. So I focus on this vibration of building. It was really
Yeah. It was
Wow.
really, it was like, it seemed like you were almost recreating the, like you say, like recreating what your brain was doing, like, because all those sounds were amped up into a
yes.
big way. And the way the video was put together, it kind of, because whenever I watch something like that, I try to kind of think, okay, what am I actually feeling now? And it mightn't be what you the creator is trying to make me feel, but it's just what am I feeling? And there was a shot there of a where it was just it was zooming in on a door handle for a number of seconds,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it was really building up a sense of like tension or something, or
Yes.
anticipation or something. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but it was
Yeah,
really interesting
definitely.
just with these sounds that you were able to do that, and with
It's a,
this shot. I don't know what it
this
was.
is a great point. I told you there were the corridors, when you start walking the corridor in silence, and the white lights, really disturbing white lights like hospital, and
Mm-hmm.
the floor was red. This is Istanbul Big University, Central Istanbul area, the A1 building. If people knows this building, they will understand. Long corridors, red, and the concrete, the concretes are naked, so it's the style. And then when you enter the corridor, you start hearing. So you're getting closer, and it makes you stress. So I was really feeling stress when I was passing in that corridors. So I wanted to show this. It's a special technique that you zoom in, and then things are getting bigger. And at the end, this shot is ending up in the door handle of the door, of the room.
Oh, this electric room.
Yeah, but the idea, door is not opening, so I never saw that room. So I still
Yeah.
don't know what's going on in that, but the sound is coming. So that's why this should end up in this
It's
mystery.
very well done. I mean, like I said, and it isn't something that I would be like a huge consumer of, but it just it stood out for me, and I really liked it. So, and it just kind of tied in with what I saw in that song, "Breath of the Night," which was absolutely beautiful. And I was just struck
Yes.
by at the end that I hadn't noticed the other track underneath it until the very end. It was so
Uh,
subtle. But it was adding to the song the whole
yes.
time, but I hadn't realized until the very end. So well
the
done, really, really
Yeah,
nice.
there's a kind of illusion this sound is entering after the first melody, maybe 10 second or 15 second, but really deeply. And then you focus on the melody, because in music we are really manipulating your brain. As I told you before, the sound, the continuous sounds, your brain is not listening, and but when there's a silence, it's amplifying, like when you're doing normal music. So when you focus on the sound of the instrument or watching, so you don't recognize something happening in the
Mm.
where as soon as melody finish, you remain with the sound I built during all the piece.
Do you
Yes.
meditate? It sounds meditative.
Yes,
Do
this
you
is
meditate? Are
when
you?
I play, I meditate.
Yeah, it
So
sounds that kind of channeling out everything and focusing on
yeah,
the whatever the dropping the tap that's leaking a tiny bit of water and blocking out every
yes,
single thing.
it's a kind of brain manipulation. Also, the I mean, not the yoga or meditating.
Yeah,
You really control what you think or clean.
yeah.
Same idea. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can I ask one more thing?
Please, as much
I
as you like.
this happens sometimes where Andy, am I disrupting the flow? Are you happy enough?
Me?
Andy.
And
I,
I can't tell you now. I'll tell you after. Huh? I'll tell you not in front, not in front of Uyghur,
okay, we're not going to fight in front of Uyghur. Okay,
not
perfect.
in front of the children. No, no.
Okay.
No,
You are
I've
not
one.
at all. Not
No,
at
that's
all.
perfect. I've one more question. It's about
Yeah, please.
you did a thing called the Green Tour,
Oh, yes.
um, and I'm just wondering if you would like to talk a little bit about that and whether you have any plans to do anything like that again in the future.
Yeah, the thing is, this project, I moved to Germany, the Berlin, 11 years ago, because in Turkey I was not mobile. I couldn't travel, but I like to travel and share my music with different people. So we had visa issues. They didn't give us a visa easily. So that's why I really wanted to be in central place and travel a lot. So that's what I like to do. So I came to Berlin, and I traveled a lot all Europe with my cello. But 2021 Goethe Institute had a green tour fundings. So there were some restrictions. They want you to travel 10 to 21 days, and but you have to play music during the time in non-German speaking countries and with green energy. Not like you shouldn't fly, you should really
Oh, okay.
experience that. And I get this in their demo fundings. So I designed a tour from Berlin to Lisbon in 21 days. I played lots of concerts and lots of recordings and gatherings. It was more, I had a manifest about that, and going eating local, and then when you go cities and hang out with local musicians and make everything sustainable, not only travel, the your how you travel, and also the accommodation should be sustainable, your relationships should be sustainable. I did a solo tour 21 days with I met lots of people with my cello and suitcase, and I document my everyday on my Instagram. They can still follow. They 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah.
Amazing.
And then a bit money left. Then I made Green Tour 2. I did from Berlin till Puglia, Italy, another tour by train, and I played concerts, festival kind of things.
Solo concerts all the way along, or
Doesn't
leading.
matter. Sometimes solo, but it is more free improvisation.
Yeah.
In this case, I met people and just let's make session play. They say, the new musician in town. Let's play concert together or gatherings,
Yeah.
recordings, videos. Kind of. We did many things. They can follow these on my timeline, Instagram timeline. So it was really nice. I would like to continue. My next project was I am still planning from Istanbul, the Berlin till end of Anatolia, Kars, the border of Armenia. So, but really long way, and I need money, time, and yeah, lots of organization. But one day I will do Green Tour 3 from Berlin through Balkans, Istanbul, Ankara, Kars.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, this is really important, because the idea is encouraging musicians to travel by train, because really traveling as a musician, like with your instrument, things lots of hassle with the airplane.
Mm.
Oh, there's also green part. Okay, it's not sustainable, but train is also nice. Even there are lots of delays and lots of shits
Yeah.
happening, but and you need to enter the city at least one couple of days before, and then enjoy and play your concert, then leave. Now people are going to city afternoon, they play concert, after concert they go back their home, so they stay on a couple of hours to play.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not super
Yeah,
sustainable.
so, what are you doing it for? Like
Yeah,
and not experiencing any. No, it's very. I've already said meditation, but it's almost mindfulness. This kind of be conscious of how you're getting there.
yeah,
Look out the window when you're entering the city.
yeah,
See what the entrance to the city is like.
this is beautiful actually.
And look around at the buildings, because as we've mentioned already, the attention span of many people and
Yeah,
including ourselves,
yeah,
who are now the lab rats for this kind of society,
yes,
remembering to that thing. And that's an awesome. I didn't actually see that at all. That's so that you have on your Instagram, you've taken people through the journey of this
yes, yeah,
green tour 1
yeah.
and 2.
I wanted to do the video, and I had one of this camera, and in the third day of the tour, it broke, unfortunately. So I don't buy these things anymore. That's why I made a daily photo shooting, and also it's diary. They can read diary everything what happened, because every 4 days I was in different cities, and from Berlin to Paris, Lyon, Barcelona, and Madrid, Lisbon, and little town in Lisbon, and it was really nice journey,
Amazing.
full of
Wow.
journeys.
Really, really impressive. I just thought that was
Yeah.
something worth talking about there. And
Thank you very
Yeah,
much mentioning
well
that.
done.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
happy to speak about that also.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
Perfect.
I guess we're getting close to landing the airplane, I guess. Yeah, I always use that analogy, landing the airplane. But I did want to actually, one thing I didn't do. So I'm going to tell you something I didn't do, but planned on doing.
Okay.
Everyone loves that. I meant to get some rakia and have some lion's milk. Lion's milk. I wanted to have some. I meant to go out yesterday, and I was like, I have to get some lion's milk or whatever. It's
Raku,
Turkish
Turkish raku.
Turkish raki, and totally forgot about it. And yeah, so but I do have. We don't have to go wild. But I do have some Irish whiskey. If you want to have a
nice.
tiny little tipple,
Yeah.
just or maybe I don't know. Is that okay with you?
I cannot say no.
No, you can't.
Now, if you come to my home and if I offer you raku, and if you say no, I will say it's wrong answer.
Oh, shit. Well, last week we'll have a small tipple. Last week we spoke about this, that our problem when we went to Macedonia have a similar kind of rakia drink.
Yeah. Rakia is distillated fruit things in Balkania. It's really popular, but this is rakı, not rakia.
It's different.
So yeah, this is different because in rakia we put anason like uzo, so distillated grape.
Also, it is kind of like sambuca uzo. Sambuca.
Yes, uzo, sambuca, raku, and
right.
anise in France, and in Italy they have different names.
Okay,
so this is different.
I think we'd enjoy your the Turkish version of this more than not that we didn't enjoy the Macedonian version of it either, but
we enjoyed it very much. We enjoyed it so much that the locals were commenting on how much we were enjoying it. We emptied a lot of jugs at the wrong time in the meal.
They questioned whether they're truly enjoying themselves or are they running from something.
And I have a really close friend in Croatia, and then every time I visit him, he's bringing their palm. They made the rakia made palm, and I still have home a little. Oh, nice. The grandmas are doing that.
Yeah.
And then whenever you go, they just.
But that's how we were in Macedonia as well. We had that feeling of kind of like when we went into the house, there was a traditional thing is like tomatoes, these giant tomatoes. What are they called? There's some giant tomatoes, I call them, and mozzarella, was it? And it's just like here's this, and then some raki.
Yeah. But if people come to Bavul, they should try the taste of rakia, and then also they should ask me the tradition of that, because rakia you should just drink fast. And the rakia culture is something different. You sit on table like 6-7 hours long chat. Rakia is just not a reason is speaking, but it's just excuse.
Yeah. I think we see all these, anything that doesn't come in a pint or a large bottle form, we see as a finish line, and that's the problem of Irish people. Or no, let me not put my entire nation under that. This is my problem. I would imagine a similar problem to Ed.
Yeah.
But listen,
okay.
Before we cheers this, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the podcast and meeting with us. Uyghur is playing Berlin solo sessions this Thursday, the 27th of February, from 8 p.m.
From 8 p.m. They should come a little slightly before.
Yep, and slightly before, even come a little bit earlier. And I believe you can have food in Bavul as well if you want to.
There are meze tapas kind of things, which is good with raku, and they should go and taste and also support the space.
Yep, absolutely, and then anything else. We'll put links to anything we've mentioned in the podcast today, be it your green tour or some of the artists, or indeed this documentary on the Eastern European Turkish guitar and ouds and what was the saz? Was that what it is?
Saz. Yes, we will.
Yeah, we'll have links to all of this.
Yeah,
and thank you so much. So, what's going on over here? Well,
I also want to thank you both, and it was really nice. It's really nice to have a space to express myself and also my music. I'm so happy that you stole my web page, and I want to say thanks to Ceyhun and Beynel Minel and Bavul that they support. This is the reason I'm here, and we met through this.
absolutely.
So if people would like to come on Thursday, let's cheers
Absolutely.
there.
Cheers to that.
I will be really happy.
Cheers to you, Ed.
Thanks, man.
We're going to see out the episode with the last clip that we got sent to me.
Just-
Besta.
Beste means our composition. I mean, it's not a name, just the name of the file. We just compose on stage, and we did play this, and then we're like, oh, it's a kind of piece. So
Okay.
this is a piece.
Right. Can I just before we sign off, is there anywhere if you were to direct anyone to online where they can find your stuff, where would you like to direct people online to see your stuff or to see what's upcoming for you?
I think Instagram is really global. So Uyghur Vural Cello Official is my Instagram address. They can follow me from there. And then I'm posting all the music and samples kind of things from there. And then from the history, they can also check Green Tour things. And if they have any question, they just need to DM me. And and also my website, I have updated information, uygurvural.com. And if they like to follow really quality different music organization, they can go Beynel Minel, DE Instagram, and Bubble Cafe on. Yeah, they can also follow there on Instagram. Yeah.
Great. So there are the links we'll include in the
Yes.
show notes for this episode.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Uyghur,
So,
absolute pleasure, man. Really nice
cheers.
to meet you.
It's my
Fantastic.
Can I ask you just before we cheers, what was your brother's name?
Utku.
Utku. So 23 years.
Thank you.
His music lives on through you, man. It was a pleasure having you here on the
Thank you very
podcast. And
I'm so happy for that.
until next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, Ed.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.